Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today's a big day. It's the first day of my last weekend parlay of the 2025-26 football season. A weekend parlay is very simple. We do one bet per day, every day, Thursday through Sunday, and it's a parlay. We love rhymes. All right, starting off with tonight, of course, it's Thursday. It's Miami minus 3.5 against Ole Miss in the college football playoff semifinals. The over-under is 52.5. And this one, I have to go back to my last video from a couple weeks ago. Prior to the playoff starting, I made a bold prediction. But here's my bold prediction for the 2025 playoff. The SEC is going to go winless against other Power 4 opponents. Now, for that to hold true, right now we're 2-0. Right now we have Miami went into Kyle Field and beat Texas A&M. SEC 0-1 against other Power 4 conferences. And then we had Indiana just eviscerate the frauds, the champion of the 2025 Fraud Bowl, the Alabama Crimson Tide. That was fun to watch. So, because of the way things shook out, that Ole Miss got to play a Group of 5 team, and then Ole Miss got to play the SEC champion, the SEC just by default got a team into the semis. Good for them, right? They probably believe that they should just all be in the semis. But I believe in my bold prediction, and I believe Miami wins this game. So give me Miami minus 3.5. Looking at the two teams next to each other, I give an edge to coaching to Miami with Cristobal. I think he's got that program rolling, how he led by their offensive and defensive lines, and that's tough to mitigate. Now, I will give the edge in the quarterback, the most important position on the field. I will give the edge to Ole Miss. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss had some heroic plays against Georgia in the quarterfinals. I think he'll need to be heroic again. But guess what? He's not playing against an SEC team this time. And look, Georgia's defense is great. They're fine. But they were great against an overrated SEC. Again, they were built on a house of cards. And I'm not saying the ACC is some, gauntlet best conference in the country, but Miami very well might be the best team in the country as we sit here right now. So Miami minus 3.5. I am trusting the stronger, more physical team to overcome playing against a superior quarterback, particularly athletically, right? But let's also give Carson Beck some credit here. Against Ohio State, he did everything he needed to do, which, granted, wasn't a ton considering how his defense was playing, but he had some tough physical runs. I forgot. He's a big dude. He's exactly what you need on a team like Miami. A distributor, a manager, and make a play here and there, right? So I really trust Miami in this game. I think 3.5. I think it's borderline disrespectful. What it really is just more SEC bias. If Ole Miss played in the Big 12, I think Miami would be favored by 5.5 or more. So Thursday, Miami minus 3.5. Moving on to tomorrow, Friday, it's the other college football playoff semifinal. Oregon is getting 3.5 against Indiana. The over-under is 48.5. The last time these two teams played was a long time ago in Autzen Stadium, and Indiana went in there and had, in my opinion, the best win of the season across the country. They won 30-20 late in the game. Oregon gets a pick six to tie it up at 20, and Indiana just immediately responds, 75-yard drive, touchdown, and they end up winning 30-20. So that was a long time ago, though. And Indiana, look, they're the best team in the country. There's no two ways about it. The way they dismantled a super fraudulent Alabama team was still impressive. They're just so businesslike. They just don't really make mistakes. They're always in the right position. It's impressive. Oregon is also really well coached. And I think their win over Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, I mean, it was fine. It was great. But my God, Texas Tech on offense played so poorly. Brendan Morton played so poorly. His interceptions were head scratchers.
Really good with his eyes. All those hopeful fans who have traveled to South Florida. 3rd and goal to the end zone. They go. It is intercepted, and it's...
right? I don't know. They're not going to get that against Indiana. But with all that being said, 3.5 is not a lot of points. I think it's funny how both games are the same spread. But in this one, I'm going with Oregon. I think Oregon, they can lose by 3. They can keep this within a field goal. I'm really taking it, though, because I hate it. It scares me. It scares me to bet against Cignetti. This might end up being like, how do you bet against Alabama in the early Saban years? You might, in a few years, we might look back at this like, what was I thinking? But what I'm thinking is that Oregon has the athletes, the coaching, and the mentality to get this done. And by get it done, I mean at least cover the spread. Honestly, it gun to my head, who's winning? Take Indiana. But I think Oregon has a better chance than we want to believe. And honestly, I think this spread is still, I wish I was getting more. I think it's undervaluing Indiana. I think it's still a little bit of a brand impacted line. If Indiana was Ohio State, I think this line is probably 5.5 touchdown. But it's 3.5. So the pick is Oregon plus 3.5. This is the one I'm most nervous about, but book it. Let's get to the weekend. Okay, we get to the weekend and we are up into the NFL. I'm not as big of an NFL guy, but I certainly tune in Saturday. Couple games to pick from, but I'm going with the first game of the day, 4:30. The Rams at the NFC South champions with a losing record, Carolina Panthers. Let's see. The Rams are minus 10.5, give or take, and the over-under is around 46. I went back and forth on doing the total. I was like, I could see the Rams giving up, 14 points and then scoring 35. I could also see them winning 30-3. So what I ultimately settled on is this. The Rams team total over 28.5. I love this because the Rams lost to Carolina last time they played. It was a couple months ago. I think this Rams team is going to want to make a statement that they didn't win their division. They're on the road. They lost to this team last time. This could be a Puka Nacua just go off game. He only had like 70-something yards last time they played. Look, 4 touchdowns and a field goal gets it done, right? I think I feel really good about that one. Of all my picks so far, that's my favorite one. So assuming we get through the college football playoff picks, team total Rams over 28.5. Let's get on to Sunday. All right, Sunday. Big day, obviously, for wild card weekend. Looking at it, it's so wide open, right? The whole field and on both sides, NFC, AFC, are so wide open. And the one thing that people keep pointing to without the Chiefs in it, without the Ravens in it, that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the AFC playoffs. And I agree. He absolutely is. But he's going on the road to Jacksonville, which, I think Duval Nation is going to be popping. I love the Jaguars money line. I love them to win. It's only like a 1-point spread, so it's not even worth giving the points. Give me the Jags to win outright. I think that defense is just going to tee off on an offense that has been erratic, to say the least. And as much as to be honest, I root for the Bills in playoffs. I'm a sad Giants fan, but the Bills are my playoff team. I really want the city of Buffalo to get a Super Bowl, but it is not that year. I think they go home disappointed. Look, the Jags are the hottest team in the NFL right now. The only reason this makes me a little nervous is because they are the hottest team in the NFL right now. It doesn't scare me a lot. But look, if we get through the first 3 days of this parlay, if we're going to sleep on Saturday with the hedging opportunity, we can bet on the Bills and make money either way, right? So there it is. Your final weekend parlay of the 2025-26 football season. Thursday, Miami minus 3.5. Friday, Oregon plus 3.5. Saturday, the Los Angeles Rams team total over 28.5. And finally, to wrap it up, Sunday, Jaguars money line at home against the Bills. I'm excited for a great weekend of football. Thanks for watching, and let's get this one done.